Hello, audience. Welcome to All Our Productions. This is a platform where we're seeking knowledge. And today we got on our program, sitting next to me is my nephew, 𝗜𝗢𝗙𝗢𝗡. I have my nephew, Kendrick Gill from Houston. And we got James Leonard III out of Orlando, Florida. And today what we're going to be talking about is crypto. Some of the crypto knowledge that they're going to give you, some tips or some of the crypto things that's coming out, crypto coins that's coming out that everybody should be jumping on. And also Leonard's going to be talking about how you can trade crypto, not just hold it, but trade it and make money daily on it, possibly. So right now I'm going to introduce Kendrick Gill from, I call him Kid. Now I'm gonna call him Kid Crypto, because he actually gave me a lot of knowledge. Me and my nephew over here, a lot of knowledge on the crypto. My nephew over here got much more knowledge than I have, and Kendrick have more knowledge than he has. And so Leonard over here, he has the knowledge on trading. So Kid, introduce yourself and tell us a little about this crypto thing.
Okay. Yeah, my name is Kendrick Gill. Originally from Milwaukee. I live in Houston currently. Got started in crypto initially just following Bitcoin. I was real kind of interested in what that was and what the technology was behind it and whatnot. So this is probably back in like 2015 at the time. So just doing some research and whatnot, and found out what it was designed to do, and it interests me. So at that time, it was really hard to buy it. The only way you could really get Bitcoin was by mining it via your computer or whatever. The block rewards that would pay out to people would be crazy. So that was probably the easiest way to get it. So by the time I looked into it, there was an exchange around called Mt. Gox, but it was really shady and kind of suspect. I didn't want to put my credit card info on there to get it. But at that time, Bitcoin was like $400 a coin. So, it was very cheap. I had money to buy it at that time, and I just never pulled the trigger on it. By the time I did, it started going up like crazy. I bought about $500 worth, and it started to take off. That's when it did its run. It's all the way up to like 20,000. So I told myself then, I had to find the next Bitcoin. So that's kind of what got my quest and my journey into the crypto space, and started doing a lot of research, on different projects that are coming out. Again, I was looking for, the next Bitcoin to get a big return on my money and whatnot. So, I just started doing a lot of research, man. I started finding a lot of these projects that are coming out. They have a lot of utility. They're forming big partnerships with like really huge companies, corporations, governments, central banks all over the world. And, I got, long story short, I ended up getting into a lot of these projects really early, some of them before they were even a penny. They were less than a penny, You throw $200, $300, $400 at them, you got 100,000+ tokens of, of a few, of a technology and something that's going to be changing the world, inside of 3 to 5 years. So, that's kind of how you build generational wealth,
Okay. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get Kelly, because we got a little bit left. I'm gonna have to get back to recording. Kelly, Kid got you into it, almost got me at the same time. I could kick myself for not getting it years ago. He called you about it. I didn't understand. I didn't know what was going on. When he said that it's something similar to when we went from the farming to the industrial to the computer age, and this is the computer, the computer age and the cryptocurrency. So how did you get into it?
Well, Kendrick got me started. First, mentioned to everybody in the family, and they kind of laughed at him or whatever else. So I started seeing it more and more, and then so I started calling him a little more, and then I started doing a little research myself. So some things he told me to buy, I still have to this day. Then I started getting like a drug to me. I started getting more interested in it every day and looking at it and starting to see what it was going to do for the world. And then finding out what the blockchain was going to be. It's going to be a new computer system that's going to take over the world eventually. So we're on a very early train right now. And if you're not on this train right now, you're going to be left behind. Right. Oh, Leonard, I'm introducing you, and we're going to talk about in the future about, but introduce yourself and then tell us your interest in the trading of it. So.
No problem. I'm James Leonard III out of Beaumont, Texas, but now I'm in Orlando, Florida. And basically the piggyback off of Kendrick and Kelly, especially what Kendrick was saying, around 2015 or so, when I found out about it, you mentioned Mt. Gox, and we know what happened with them because they were doing shady things. It was very difficult to get into crypto. I didn't even know how to make a wallet. That's like you talk. I didn't even know how to make a wallet. I'm searching, trying to find a wallet to get it, and it was $300 a coin. So like what you were saying, Mr. McKay, I kicked myself for not going harder to find out because it would have been a whole lot more. But once I found out what it was, man, I was telling and sharing it with everyone because I saw what was happening. What I do now, along with the BYOB movement, we trade in the financial markets. Now, when it dawned on me that I didn't have to buy it to make money off of it, and I can make money when it goes up or when it goes down, man, that was a wrap for me. So I'm a very big crypto enthusiast, and I still tell people, hold it, but also learn how to trade it. Kelly, you mentioned something. You said that what was it? They said you said you kick yourself because you didn't understand it at the time, and a lot of people are in that boat still today and have been. But what I would encourage people, if you see people like Oprah Winfrey and you see people like Elon Musk talking about it and you still don't understand it, do it anyway until you do understand. Because even though it's not too late, you want to get in as soon as you can so you can maximize the gains that you're going to get from it. But yes, I love crypto. I love it. Absolutely.
Okay. Kid, give us the history of the Swift currency, or what you was telling me about the age we're moving into and we're moving out of.
Okay. Again, I apologize for the noise in the background. I'm giving my daughter a bath currently. So.
Okay.
But so basically what we have right now in place is called the Swift network. It's a network that was built back in the 1970s, which is kind of antiquated if you think about it, because we're in 2021 and we could send information all over the world via an email, and people can get that information inside of a second, probably less than a second. What we don't have in place is a way to send money like that, right? So they're building what they call the Internet of Value, which is what Ripple is one of the investments that I talk about a lot. That's what they're tackling. So basically, they're working on a way to send money anywhere all over the world that will actually settle in 3 to 5 seconds, and the fees will be nothing. You know what I mean? Versus the current system in place, where the fastest way to probably send money across the world is to wire it to someone, which, if you've ever wired money, could take 3 to 5 business days to settle. And then they're going to charge you a percentage of the transaction as far as the transaction fees and whatnot. So it's very expensive and it's inefficient. So again, what some of these these cryptocurrencies are tackling, they found this problem in the market and have come up with solutions. And the solutions are, again, really fast settlement times, a lot more efficient. It's going to free up money. So what's currently in place, the banking system, when they do business between each other, they have these accounts called no-throw bolster accounts. And what that is, it represents these banks' accounts to be able to do business between each other, because ultimately they don't trust each other. So for instance, if you lived in Africa, Dwayne, and I live in the US, and we decided to do business with each other, what I would probably have to do is send you, just say $50 million and to have it deposited in your bank account there. And then you, vice versa, do the same thing. And when we do business, it's just going to be a credit and debit system. There's not going to be an actual settlement mechanism in place for the money, because our money is sitting up in those accounts, just dormant, just waiting for us to do business with each other. Well, what this Internet of Value is tackling, it's taking that, it's freeing up that money basically, because now, you know, by the time the technology is put in place or whatever, and these banks start using the system, it's going to allow that money to not be dormant in those accounts. It's going to free up that money. And right now, globally, the money that's sitting in these accounts is roughly $27 trillion that's just sitting there dormant, you know, in these bank accounts. You know, that's it, like I said, they're called nostro vostro accounts. So again, one of the
Hello, audience. Welcome to All Our Productions, where we seeking knowledge, sharing knowledge, and sustaining knowledge. Today, we're going to do a continuation on a show we had last week, crypto in the past and crypto in the future. Well, cryptocurrency in the past and cryptocurrency for the future. That's the title of the show, because we're talked about the past, we're talking about the present, and we're talking about the future of cryptocurrency. We're going to continue on Kid Crypto, Kendrick Gill, on his history of crypto and the future of crypto. And then later we're going to talk to James about the trading of crypto, other ways we can use crypto. It's your show now, Kid Crypto.
Okay. I think last time we talked, we were talking about the Swift network and how Ripple, which is one of the cryptocurrency projects that I kind of follow or whatever, they're tackling going after the Swift network, which is an old messaging standard that the banks use to settle transactions between. Actually, they don't settle. It's just a messaging system, like a credit and debit system that they use to settle transactions. So what I was saying was Ripple is tackling that problem of settlement. They're currently building or helping to build what they call an Internet of Value, which is basically, it's like an information highway, but it's going to move value on that highway. So you're talking money, you're talking stocks, you're talking real estate. Eventually, everything's going to be tokenized. Gold, silver, everything, anything that you can, that it's considered an asset today will be eventually tokenized. So that's kind of what Ripple's working on. They're building that highway for that value to move between each other. And how it's going to work is they're going to add like a settlement layer to the internet, which is going to allow transactions to actually settle between each other 3 to 5 seconds with hardly any fees. So that's what's kind of coming towards everyone. You probably won't notice a lot of it on the front end, on the user side, but on the back end, as far as, like I said, all the settlement and everything between the banks and stuff, that's where it's all going to come into play. So,
what do you feel about China, or your point? Give a China not accepting Bitcoin, or how would that affect the movement or the future of Bitcoin or cryptocurrency?
So that's, you know, Bitcoin, crypto in general is it's political, because of what it does is basically taking away control of money from the banks and the centralized banking system, and it's giving the power to the people, basically, because now they can transact between each other peer to peer without a third party in the middle collecting fees and stuff, right? Mm-hmm. So with the whole China thing, they've created their own central bank digital currency. It's up and running right now. people are actually using it in the country. And the reason why they're banning Bitcoin and they don't want Bitcoin around and kicked out a lot of miners out of China is because they have their crypto in place, which is a digital yuan. And that's what they want everyone to use. And they don't want any competition between their currencies. So as far as Bitcoin goes, you know, they're not, that's why they kicked them out of China, basically.
Do we have on your knowledge, do we have a chance to invest in that, what you call it, the digital yuan?
No, you don't, because, you know, we live in the US, so, you know, right now they're working on regulations, KYC, AML, which is like know your customer, and anti-money laundering things that they're putting in place to prevent, you know, people in the US from investing. And basically they're going to say to protect investors is what the word, you know, the words that they use in that sense. But if you have a US IP address, you're not going to be able to invest in something like that, I don't believe. Now, there's ways around it, of course, you know, but again, with the regulations that they're putting in place, eventually they're going to be able to track everything that you do. So, you know, you got to be careful.
So thanks for being so patient, Leonard. Your viewpoint, because Kid Crypto, he basically buy and hold, sells sometimes, but I think he basically buy and hold. Leonard, you was talking about how you can make profit on trading, some of your knowledge or your knowledge on crypto.
So yeah, no doubt about it. And just to chime in on Kid was saying is absolutely correct. There's something that one should look up. It's called Fed coin, and this has always been the end game when the bankers and the governments came around. So now you're seeing that they're coming up with their own government coins. They don't want people to have access to these unrestricted coins, if that's to lack for a better term. So what they're going to do is outlaw and force you to have a Fed coin, and you're starting to see a lot of countries adopt that. Now, to answer what you're saying, like, I believe in both. I'm a holder of crypto, but I've also learned that once you understand the financial market and how it moves, you can actually trade the crypto to earn it without really investing in the coin itself. You can actually look at the charts of it and the movement of it and realize, okay, well, if it's going up, I can put in a trade to buy it. Or if it's going down, I can put in a trade to sell it and actually earn money from it to go back and invest in it. So it's very, very lucrative right now for people to really pay attention to it and learn as much as they can, because this is the future of money. And you want to get in, and it's not too late to get in now and start investing into it and learning how to maneuver in this field.
Yeah, I was talking to Miss Perry with the Be Your Own Bank money movement, and she was saying that she doesn't buy and hold any of it. She trade every day, and that's why I'm gonna have on the show next week. Be ready, audience, for the next week's show, where we have 4 of crypto people. We got a person that buy and hold trade. We got a person that mostly wholesale sometimes, and we got a person, I think Kelly will be on. He just basically that buy and hold, and this is what this show is about: seeking knowledge, sharing knowledge, and sustaining knowledge. And maybe even with the people on our show that we can learn from each other. Maybe Miss Perry will hold some, and maybe Kid will learn to trade some.
Yeah.
So,
well, I'll say this about, you know, when it comes to investing, there is no right or wrong way to do it. You know, there is multiple strategies people can use. What works for you, for instance, may not work for me, or vice versa, you know? So there's no right or wrong way. I've learned from not only investing in stocks, but also the crypto markets. From me personally, what I've learned with it is your time in the market beats timing the market. And basically what that means is the longer that you let your money sit. If you get in early enough, you'll make more money letting it sit than you will trying to trade it. And I say that because, and what a lot of people don't realize too is, like I said, they're working on regulations. There's no regulation in place right now for crypto. So when you trade, there's transaction fees that are associated with those trades. Now you're supposed to be keeping track of that. You're supposed to be reporting that, but most people probably don't. But eventually it's going to be something in place where they're going to shut traders down, I believe, because the transaction fees that's going to be associated with it's going to price you out of your profits, basically. So there's, there's, like I said, there's no right or wrong way. People make money doing both ways. You got DeFi coming on the scene now too, where, what you hold, you can stake it, you can yield farm it, you can delegate your votes and just be paid in rewards, take those rewards, reinvest them back into liquidity pools, and just create obscene amounts of interest on just holding your coins, which again, you let that sit for 2 to 3 years, along with the appreciation of the token, who knows how much money you'll have, There's so many, like I said, there's no right or wrong way. There's so many different strategies and ways to make money in this crypto lane or whatever. So just want to throw that in.
Explain yield farming to me. There's like the S&P index fund, crypto part.
So yield farming is just basically, it's like you take your tokens and you lock them up for a period. So say you buy some Bitcoin and you buy it and you're sitting in your wallet. It's not doing anything for you. It's just sitting there, right? You want to be able to leverage it. You want to take it and use it to, you can use it to create, like Leonard was saying, you can use it to loan out to people and create a yield on it. You can loan, you can loan it out to different decentralized banks. It's going to be coming out pretty soon, and you can earn all, like I said, they basically pay you obscene amounts of interest to just use your tokens. You're putting it on a network and allowing the network to be utilized, more participation, and that increases basically the value of the token, because now there's a value there. So it's just interest, basically. Think of it like that. If you had $100,000 sitting in a bank account, you're going to get paid what? Less than 1% interest right now.
Right.
What if you took that same $100,000, put it in a crypto, and then locked it up for 30 days? And at the end of those 30 days, they pay you 30, 40, 50, anywhere up to 100+% interest in the form of a different token. But you could take that other token, which is your reward, so you could cash that out if you want, or you can take it and reinvest it and just creates like a wheel, like a cartwheel. Just, you get your rewards, you reinvest it. Now, once it's reinvested, you have a bigger amount in that pool to get a bigger, you're going to get a percentage on a bigger amount. Next week, you're going to get those same rewards, same thing. Take it, reinvest it, and it creates like a cartwheel. It's just a circle. You just keep, and just again, over time, 2 years, you look up, and with the tokens appreciating in value over that 2 year period, you can look up and have some crazy money.
Now, kid, you have my curiosity. Now you have my interest, because because I'm thinking my little money sitting in the bank and gaining interest like that. If that's true, I mean, I'm sure you studied it and you saw some results from it. What I want to ask too, we went to an era like it was 2001, between 2001 when the .com era bust, and with all the crypto out there now, crypto coins, a lot of people were predicting that a lot of these cryptos are going to fall off the ram.
Oh yeah.
What is a safe, both of you all can answer this, what is a safe crypto to invest in? I mean, if you know, or you probably don't know, I just like to know what is safe, because we didn't know Amazon was safe in 2001. It just it got past the .com bust.
Yeah.
So what is a safe crypto?
Well, the space is it's very early in the space still. because like I said, as long as it's unregulated, it's pretty much considered the Wild Wild West. So there are a lot of tokens out there. There's like over 12,000 cryptos out there right now. So there's definitely a lot of scams. So you got to be very careful on that front. What I look for personally, I do, like I said, I do my own research, and that's another key thing. People, you have to do your own research when it comes to this stuff. Like I can tell you about projects all day long, but ultimately you need to be going to take that information and you need to look into it for yourself and see if it's something that, you know, you think is a good fit for you. For me personally, I look at what the utility of the token is. Does it have a utility, a purpose? Like, what is it going to be used for? Is it just going to be something scammy, something on your phone, a game? You know, is it going to be used by the masses of people? Is it creating a solution for a problem that's out there in the world? So I start there, you know, and you start by reading. If you find something that you like, go read their white paper. The white paper is going to tell you exactly what that token is, you know, what its plans are. It's going to give you a roadmap of how they plan to get to, you know, where their plans are, and it's everything. If it's something that interests you, you know, do further research, start looking up their partnerships, see who they're partnering with. There's big companies backing it, and that probably tells you something like, okay, they're going to be around for a while. So let me kind of start keeping my eye on the price. And even then, you want to buy it when there's a dip. They always say buy the dips, right? So keep an eye on it, you know, because at that point, it may not be the best time to buy it. It may be up like crazy. You don't want to buy something at the top. You want to buy it on the dip. You want to buy it lower so you'll get a bigger ROI at the end of the day. So like I said, there's not really a safe one to answer your question, but for me, I just look at utility and partnerships. If I see big companies like Google and Apple and Visa and MasterCard and central banks, if I see all that, you know, companies like that backing up these coins and investing in their networks, then that's what I'm doing. I'm taking my little pennies and I'm doing what the elites, I'm stacking my pennies next to their millions of dollars and see what I can get out the end of it, basically. So,
you like to add on that?
Well, I definitely wanted him to touch on the white paper aspect of it, because to answer that question, like he said, you know, one needs to do their own research. And the problem with this space right now, since more of the massive have gotten involved with it, they going off of hearsay. They're going off of what they hear on the news instead of doing their own research. Man, it's very important to do that, because, you know, just because people are into Dogecoin, what is Dogecoin's use?
right.
It has no use, opposed to looking at something like ADA that has a utility that's very affordable. A lot of people will say, yo, man, it's too late. Bitcoin is so high. I'm like, but there's so many other cryptos out there that have functions at reasonable prices that you can get in now and hold it, and it's going to, you know, materialize for you later on. And I did want to touch on the fact that, like, with the if you go look at some of these other sites, you might be, because at the moment they're lapsing on me, but there are different sites you can use, like crypto.com, for existence. You looking at, like you said, like you got money sitting in the bank account earning you 0.01% interest annually. If you have a high yield savings account with 5%, but there are places that's paying upwards of 12% for you just to sit there and hold your money there, to stake it and just leave it alone, because it's going to grow for you. And that makes more sense. And what's making the governments afraid, and he touched on it, is that now from peer to peer, or even in your own space, you can be your own banking system. You can borrow money from yourself. You can stake your money. Let's say you got $10,000. You can stake it and borrow against your $10,000, and you got $10,000 worth of extra currency that you can either reinvest or do what you want with. And if you're smart, like Kendrick said, when you buy in the dips, you can purchase or get a loan and let the appreciation of it pay itself off. So this is really revolutionary, and people really should pay I can't say what they should do. I know that I have been paying close attention to this since I came across it 7 years ago, and done everything I could to share it with everybody that I knew.
Yeah.
Question.
Definitely.
Bitcoin just dipped 9%. Is that a good time? Not saying that, because this show is not about advising no one to buy anything, because we got to protect our interests here, but not saying that you buy it. For a person out there with the 9% dip in Bitcoin, would you say that's a good time to buy Bitcoin due to when China made that decision that it dipped 9%?
This is what I'll say, and I would ask Kendrick to please come behind me and talk a little bit about it. The thing about Bitcoin is that it goes through halving stages, which means that the supply is always diminishing, like every 4 years, if I'm not mistaken. So the supply that we have right now, in another 4 years, there are going to be less Bitcoins being made. In the next 4 years, less Bitcoin being made. So even if, whether it's different or not, if you can afford to buy and put money into Bitcoin, I would. Why? Because it's the first crypto. It's the granddaddy of it all. So we already know at some point in time, one crypto or one Bitcoin is going to be worth over $1 million. So I would, in my case, look for opportunities for dips to buy. But when you see stuff like that happening, when they trying to outlaw it and work on getting rid of the decentralized coins, the ones that have utility and use, it would be prudent for one to invest into them. But Kendrick, please reiterate on the halving for the people so they can really get because you've been more versed than I have been, because I took my eye off a little bit. But can you touch on that?
Yeah, well, I don't follow Bitcoin as much because I've gotten into so many other projects I started looking into. But basically, how it worked was, in the early days of Bitcoin, the block reward. So how it works is your computer mines these transactions, right? The fastest computer to crack these codes, these transaction codes that are on the blockchain or the Bitcoin network, gets rewarded for that block. Now, back in the days, I forgot what the amounts were, but it used to be something crazy, like 5,000-10,000 Bitcoin you get paid out at, for cracking one of those blocks or whatever. Over time, I think, like you said, every 4 years, that reward gets cut in half. So basically, Bitcoin is a very scarce coin because there's only, 17 or 18 million of them in circulation, something like that. And there'll never be any more created. So, that reward gets cut, getting back to the mining part of it, the reward gets cut in half every 4 years, and to where eventually, that reward will disappear. So this is kind of a serious question that you have to ask if you are a Bitcoin investor. Once the reward starts to disappear for those transactions for the miners, are they going to want to keep mining on Bitcoin if they're not going to be getting paid their rewards anymore? It's a question I always have, because, if the miners walk away from the network, then now all of a sudden everybody's got all this money in Bitcoin and nobody's running the network anymore. You know what I'm saying? So for me personally, I don't invest in Bitcoin. I used to, when I first got into the game, I invested in it, but I personally, I'm looking for a bigger return on my investment. I don't have thousands and thousands of dollars to buy into Bitcoin. You know what I mean? Right. So I got to take what I can afford to buy. I look at, like I said, I'm looking for the next Bitcoin. I want to catch the next coin. I want to catch Bitcoin when it was 50 cents a dollar, $2, $3. Yeah. That's my strategy for investing in crypto. You know what I mean? And like I said, everyone has their own strategy. And like Leonard was saying, Bitcoin is the granddaddy of all of the crypto. So it's going to have a nostalgia to it. So if you can afford to get you one, I would definitely say buy one. If you can afford it, to where you can put that money in there and you're not going to be worried about it. But, most people that I know can't afford to buy a $40,000 Bitcoin. I mean, you could buy pieces of it. But again, if you're trying to make money, you want a bigger return on your money. If you buy Bitcoin right now at 40-something thousand, it's going to need to double just for you to double your money. It's got to get to $80,000,
That's going to be the beautiful part when we get Mr. Trana Perry on here, the crypto igniter, because then she's going to be what you're talking about now. Now, for those who can't afford to buy a whole Bitcoin, guess what? We can give you a skill set where you can actually learn how to trade it and earn money from it to invest into it. So that's the beautiful part about this space right now. But I would highly encourage everyone to look up Bitcoin halving, to look up what white papers are, because Kendrick touched on it, because that's how you're going to know if what you want to invest in is worth your time or not, or if it's what they call a crap coin. Because as you stated earlier, Mr. McKay, there's some coins out there that's going to fall off. Yeah, because they're nothing. You know, people just can I can go and make a coin right now, and, you know, I can blow smoke and some people can buy it, but it doesn't have a value because unless I'm using it for something. So I highly encourage people that if you are serious about crypto and you only have heard about it from what you hear on TV or from a friend, that you take it very serious. Go get some books. Go get some books on Bitcoin, Ethereum. Go get some books on the blockchain and educate yourself, because this is the greatest transfer of wealth that we have seen in our generations, and the biggest transfer of wealth since probably the Industrial Revolution, to be honest with you. So we definitely don't want to miss out on it.
Well, it sounds cliche, but this is really a once in a lifetime opportunity for investing for people, because it's a brand new asset class. And we haven't had a new asset class since bonds were created back in like the 1600s. So, you know, this is something that you probably, you don't have to throw a whole bunch of money into it. But if you have some money that you trick off, you know, buying shoes and, you know, just stupid stuff, going out to eat, you know, $100, $200 here on drinks and out to eat, take that money, just take a little bit of it. Go buy you some crypto. Once you buy it, you're going to be forced to kind of keep track of it and find out about it, because now you're invested. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I look at it.
Well, kid, you know, we have a person. It's your first cousin, and my nephew, and I was this is what I use. He bought the latest fashion. That never impressed me. But when he started buying that crypto and told me what he was making, that's what impressed me. Because it impressed me what he had on. It just, when he talked about what he was making crypto, that's what impressed me. That's how we have to look at things. You don't, that really don't impress me. If you got it, you know, and it make you feel good. If someone come with the red bottom shoes and whatever, well, Ms. Perry probably got that. But what impressed me is her knowledge on trading. That's what impressed me. When she come with the red bottom shoe, she got red bottom shoe for a moment, 1 second emotion. But when you talk about that she's trading and making hundreds of dollars every day, every single day, at a 98% success rate, that's what interests me right there.
Yeah.
Mr. McKay, I'm gonna touch on this, and I'm gonna be silent for a second. Just this past weekend, there was a tremendous drop in Bitcoin. And what one needs to understand is that just off the motion of that drop, one could have made several thousands of dollars, not hundreds, off of that one drop, just from having a skill set, just from having the knowledge of knowing that, okay, the indicator's telling me that this is going to drop. And that's mind-boggling to me, because when I was in the stage where I was just buying crypto, just buying it, then when I noticed that, wait a minute, because there were in the early stages, there were sites like Polynex, I forget the other one that I was on, and basically you're just looking at a chart and it's saying you can buy, you can sell, you can swap. No, wait a minute. If I can just trade this stuff and earn it, why am I spending my money still? I can create it from out of thin air, and it's a beautiful thing, man. So I really hope that people take the time to learn about the whole aspect of this industry, purchasing it and holding it, and also learning how to trade it and taking their finances into their own hands. Because how long are you going to allow the banks to sit there and profit 99.98% off of our money? How long are we going to do that?
Right. Well, this was just all our production is about, like I say, seeking knowledge, sharing knowledge, and sustaining knowledge. And part of this show, this is the financial part of all our production. And I'm going to be a human guinea pig, because I'm going to buy, I'm going to hold, I'm going to trade, I'm going to yield. I got a stockbroker coming in where, you know, talking about options and S&Ps and the different index funds. I'm going to be the guinea pig, and I'm going to grow. The audience is going to grow with me, and they're going to follow this show. They're going to follow you all, the crypto crew here. I would like for y'all to be a part of the show as much as possible. I know time, maybe your time and schedule won't allow it, but next week, Saturday, if we can come on again with Miss Perry, that'll be a part of it. And then another week, we're going to come on with Rob. He's a professional stock trader and investor, and also some of the Be Your Own Bank movement people. I like them to come on. I'm just like to spread this knowledge to everyone, that anyone that wants to sustain a nice financial future, and instead of many of us living paycheck to paycheck, barely making it by the end of the month. I really want people to grow. So I'm going to be the human guinea pig, and I'm taking you all knowledge. Someone asked me, who's your mentor? Right now, you are my mentor, Kid Crypto, and James Leonard, Miss Perry. There's many people that's going to be my mentor in this. Robert 𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗢. I'm going to take, as this show grow, people is going to follow us, and our destiny. I think it's your destiny too, because you all wouldn't be sharing this now, to be on this, taking your time to be on this podcast show and giving information if you didn't want other people to grow. And I really appreciate that. I really appreciate your heart that you all have the same kind of enlightenment that I have, or future that I have about people growing financially.
Mr.
With that,
McKay.
yes.
No, I'm sorry, Kendrick. I just want to share this. I want to share something that Dr. 𝗖𝗢𝗙𝗢, who is the our finance doctor in the BYB movement, says all the time, and it touches my heart. Personal finance is the only industry where you're being educated by the people who are selling you a product. I want that to sink in, because otherwise they're not teaching you this in school. People in college don't get it, but the people who are selling you a 401k or selling you a program are the one that's educating you about money. We are staunch about changing that narrative and you taking that education to your own hands and controlling your money, because nobody's going to take your money and take care of it like you.
Thank you for that.
Thanks,
James. Well, with this, I appreciate you all tuning in on this show. Again, all our productions about seeking knowledge, sharing knowledge, and sustaining knowledge. Next week we'll be back with another show on tips on buying and trading crypto. I was going to get into that, but I'm going to wait till next week, and we're going to talk about that. And it's going to be, again, the tips on buying and trading crypto. We're going to touch more on how you can make profit on each end of it. Hope that you all can tune in next week. For you all, it's going to be 10 o'clock. We'll come on this show and talk about that. With that, I'd like, any last word, Kid?
No, like I said, it's all about learning, man. You know, I'm still learning. I've been in the space 5-6 years. I'm still learning about it every day. It changes so fast. So that's another reason why you have to do your research, because what you know today could change tomorrow, you know, in this space. So, you know, some news could be released overnight or something about one of these projects, and it could change everything. So just keep learning. That's all I would say. Keep learning.
What about you, James?
I'm always a student. I'm always willing to learn. And I'm just happy to be connected with you all, because Kendrick bringing me life back, because I actually took my enterprise to focus on just seriously trading, and so much has changed in those several months that, you know, I'm coming to him to re-educate me on things that that I missed out on. So yeah, you definitely want to pay attention.
And that's what we're this about. We're teaching people how to connect too. Also, like we're connecting, teaching each other, inspiring each other. Again, thank you for tuning in to All Our Productions. Thank you for participating. Kendrick Gill, Kid Crypto himself, James Leonard, and this is Dwayne Mckay. Again, this show is about seeking knowledge, sharing knowledge, and sustaining knowledge. Thank you for tuning in.